There appears to be a controversy emerging from Darul Uloom Deoband in Saharanpur, which appears to have told men and women to restrain posting photographs on social media. It is added that there is a fear that these are misused, and also the ones who are misusing it should not indulge in. Now, of course, the reference has gone specifically for members of the Muslim community, and it is with regard to misusing social media applications like WhatsApp and Facebook, and that the practice must stop immediately. We've also seen of late how several celebrities have been targeted for posting photographs on internet and the trolling by religious bigots, and instead of a clampdown, such references are now being slapped. But we'll also have a reaction probably coming in from the Darul Uloom. Earlier this month, the seminary had also issued banning women from cutting their hair and shaping eyebrows. India Today also spoke to Muslim cleric Rashid Firangi. This is what he had to say.
Personally, I'm of the view that fatwa should not be issued on such subject, and the people themselves know better for themselves what is right and what is wrong. And it is right that in many times photographs, especially of ladies, are used wrongly on the social media. So it's up to the people to personally decide what they have to do or not. And fatwas should only be issued in religious matters which are of utter importance. Fatwa is a very important edict, and it should be issued only on important religious matters. Darul Uloom is a national education institution, and it should focus on education, and rather than issuing fatwas on non-issue matter or on non-important matter. The seminary should rethink of taking this fatwa, because there are certain elements who are out to prove that the ulamas are against the women's rights, and as far as Islam is concerned, it has given equal right to both women and women. So fatwa should not be issued on such issues.
I'm now joined by our correspondent ASHUTOSH MISHRA on the phone line. ASHUTOSH, just clear some confusion. Is it a diktat of fatwa, or is it more like a reference that was given among students? What exactly did the cleric mean?
Well, Pooja, it has two narratives, and let me start with what Firangi Mahali said, that the fatwa can only be issued in a matter where, in a religious matter, as he very clearly said, that fatwa cannot be issued on some random topics, but it has very restrictions only about the religious issues. So henceforth, the fatwa can be, termed invalid by other Islamic preachers. Now, coming to the second point, what the fatwa says and what is the advice that was given by the Darul Uloom Deoband. We have seen in past that Deoband have issued some diktat which was largely criticized by all over the section and across the youth, or men or women. But this time this seems a response and advisory, not the diktat but an advisory, because Islamic practitioner one who filed appeal in Darul Uloom Deoband seeking an answer whether men or women should circulate photos on social media. Responding to that, Darul Uloom Deoband had said that anything that can be shared, be the pictures, with the photograph, text, any content that you share on social media or various platforms of social media with bad intention, that is haram in Islam. Okay. Largely, as you rightly said also, that we have seen number of misuses of such pictures on social media, and there is also a demand to clamp down against such such activities on social media. So this more seems not a diktat but an advisory that Islamic preachers, be it men, women, youth, anyone with bad intentions circulating these pictures or any kind of content on social media is not allowed as per Islam.
All right, Ashutosh, stay on with me because political reactions are coming in, and I'm glad that you've given some perspective on it. I'm joined by Shaina NC, BJP leader. Shaina, now it's clear that it may not exactly be a fatwa, it's more like a reference, but do you think it should be completely left to individual freedom to post what picture or photograph or even a status that you want, or that there needs to be a religious guideline that people are expected to follow as well?
Most definitely, I don't think the women of today or the women of India, Hindu, Muslim alike, are going to, get taken aback by any directive by so-called thekedars of Samaj or whether it is, regressive groups of the Kap Panchayat, or in this particular case, if there are certain clerics who are trying to dictate what should be adhered to on social media, we must understand that social media is a platform where people express opinions sometimes contrarian to what one would expect in terms of a belief or an ethos. And I think the beauty of a democracy is that you have women in the 21st century who are expressing themselves, sometimes even against the system, but as I would see it, they are legitimate voices of dissent. If there is a question of any vulgarity, clearly I think everyone should raise voices. However, if it is a question of pure emotive expression, I don't think anybody, not even the government, has the right to comment.
Anna, just stay on with me because more reactions are coming in. I'm now joined by Subhashini Ali. She's a social activist. Subhashini ma'am, tell me this, that rather than telling people to post or not to post certain pictures which may be misused or people who are misusing it, should there not be a direct reference by the clerics to people who are misusing them or who are trolling young girls for putting up photographs?
You see, in any case, a fatwa is only an interpretation.
Okay.
People have misunderstood the word fatwa to mean as if it's some kind of an order that has to be followed. Fatwa basically means an interpretation of the Quran and the Sharia, and all kinds of people in India have decided that they are in a position to issue fatwas. Some people listen to them, most people don't give them any attention at all. And in fact, by discussing them like this, they are giving them more importance and more legitimacy. They are always trying to project themselves as the sole interpreters of what the scriptures say, and that is not so at all. Now, as far as social media is concerned, of course, there is a need to be cautious. People should, not put up things that can be misused, that can hurt people, that can, shame people. All that is true. But this kind of fatwa is basically trying to say that they are the ones who know how to interpret Islam, and I don't think many people take them seriously. Those who take them seriously are taking them seriously anyway, and those who don't will never take them seriously.
Do you think women should respond here? How do you think women should respond to clerics speaking about what or what should not be posted?
I beg your pardon?
How do you think women should really react? Because it's usually targeted at women for what they would post, how their pictures may be misused, so they should not post a certain status or a photograph. How do you think women should come forth? Should they completely ignore a person who's so regarded from the seminary, or probably they should be able to respond in a different manner?
Because now the elections are coming. And you see, they will again give fatwas that women who are contesting should not have posters. Everybody will have posters. Nobody will bother about it.
Ma'am, I'm really glad that you've put things in perspective here and really told us what exactly is the reference by such clerics mean. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, Shaina NC, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your view. In fact, I would now want to go to Shamina Shafiq. She's also a former NCW member, if I'm correct, and she also spoke on this issue. Let's listen into what she said.